corrupt government cannot liberate the people. If the head of the stream is corrupt, the entire river will be also. I do not support corruption. Corruption takes money away from children's education. It deprives hospitals of basic necessities. It means that roads are not fixed. Corruption deepens inequality. It siphons off taxpayers' money to make a few cronies richer with the political connections instead of benefiting the people.
A blessed good day to you, my wisdom warriors. Wagwan, wagwan. I hope you guys are in good spirit. Well, my people, take a listen to this.
So we're right on spot on the Dunbars River to Smithfield Main Road. Some patching work is being done today. As we had promised, I remember stating in an early video that this section of the road was not a part of the patching program, but we spoke to the heads of the National Works Agency and they understood what was happening, that this section is the worst part of the road. So even though it's a parish council road, the National Works Agency is doing the work and patching the worst section of the road from Dunbars River going all the way to Whitehall. So this particular section that has been a nuisance to persons who traverse this road on a daily basis will see some level of normalcy and decency starting later today, so people will be able to traverse in a nice and proper manner. So we give thanks to the National Works Agency for responding to the call. The Dunbars River to Smithfield Main Road is being patched today, so people can be satisfied now that a decent stretch of road is here for them to drive.
Cuba has about 2 weeks of oil left, maybe less, and I need you all to understand what that actually means. Cuba is about to become the next Gaza. In the last month alone, the US seized 5 oil tankers heading to Cuba. This is the largest naval deployment in the Caribbean since Rubio literally testified to Congress that regime change is the objective. Trump said, quote, "I think it's just going to fall." They're not even hiding it anymore. But here's the thing, this has been happening for decades. Every year at the UN, 187 nations vote to condemn the US embargo on Cuba, 33 consecutive years. The most lopsided vote in UN history. It's just the US and obviously Israel voting no. And every single year, every country that votes against the embargo lets their banks enforce it anyway. Why? Because 88% of all global foreign exchange transactions touch the US dollar, because one country controls the pipes through which the world's money moves. And the US has fined foreign banks, BNP Paribas, HSBC, Societe Generale, banks from countries that oppose the embargo, over $13 billion in fines for processing Cuba-related payments. So most banks just refuse all Cuba operations now. 69% of necessary medicines are unavailable in Cuba, not scarce or not expensive, literally banned from entering the country. This is the same Cuban government that offered to send 1,500 doctors to help Americans after Hurricane Katrina. The Bush administration said no. During COVID, Cuba exported doctors across Latin America, whilst richer nations hoarded vaccines. They're literally renowned worldwide for training medical personnel and sending them to places like Palestine. Cuba has literacy rates that shame the US, and that's why the US would rather see Cuba become a concentration camp than succeed, because if Cuba thrives, it proves there is an alternative that capitalism and imperialism and endless exploitation aren't inevitable. The Cuban government is now calling this what it is, a genocidal blockade. They're preparing emergency measures to try to keep people in nursing homes and hospitals alive, rationing plans for millions. And this is literally life or death struggle for 11 million people. So if Cuba falls, it won't be because socialism doesn't work. It will be because the largest empire in human history, run by PDFs, spent 6 decades and trillions of dollars making sure it couldn't. Remember that when you see the headlines about failed states and economic collapse. This siege is the story. Everything else is just the obituary they are writing in advance.
3 men were fatally shot during an alleged confrontation with the police in Osborne Store, Clarendon, Friday evening. Another man is now in police custody after he turned up for treatment for a bullet wound at hospital. Now, the Independent Commission of Investigation is probing the incident, but as you'll hear in this report, the incident brings to 51 the number of fatal shootings recorded by the security forces since the start of the year. Yellow tape and police flashing lights along Comfort Road in Osborne Store, Clarendon Friday night helped to tell the tale of what unfolded earlier. Reports are that sometime before 9, the police were conducting an operation in the community when they signaled this grey Honda Fit with 4 men aboard to stop. Head of the Area 3 Police, Assistant Commissioner Christopher Phillips, explained what happened next.
The driver complied, but came out pointing a weapon at the team. And in the same breath, it is reported that the other occupants of the vehicle started to fire at the police party. They made evasive maneuvers and returned fire.
When the shooting ended, 3 men were found suffering from gunshot wounds. 2 guns were reportedly recovered by the police. The men were taken to hospital, where they were pronounced dead. Hours later, another man said to be the driver who escaped on foot turned up at hospital with a gunshot wound.
And we have started to gather information which is suggesting that these men were up to no good being in this community, and the police action might have prevented, serious or maybe multiple cases, maybe of shootings or murders within this community.
The deceased have been identified as 26-year-old Michael Pinnock, otherwise called Size 10, 35-year-old Dean Williams, also called Sam or Crazy Block, and Roshane Lynch, known also as Juvenile or Courtney. The Independent Commission of Investigations, Indicom, has begun their investigation. Friday's incident brings to 51 the number of fatal shootings recorded by the security forces since the start of the year. Amid concerns about the reported increase in confrontation since the start of the year, ACP Phillips issued this warning.
Again, the police team, highly trained, and we are going to take steps to defend the life of the people within the community to ensure their safety. The police also have to protect themselves. And so we're not going to back down. We're going to apply our training and do what is right and proper.
Police from the Mandeville and Porus police stations, along with security personnel from Bauxite Mining Company Jamalco, recovered 43 containers of low sulfur fuel believed to have been stolen from the company. In the joint operation Tuesday morning, 3 cars that were used to transport the stolen items were also seized. Sergeant Dwight Holland, who led the operation, told our news team that about 5 o'clock Tuesday morning, Jamalco security team spotted the cars while patrolling the company's haulage road in a section of Porus called Ramble. They called the police, and when they arrived, the men fled, leaving the cars with the oil behind. 30 of the 43 5-gallon containers were full. Sergeant Holland estimates the black market value of the stolen oil to be over $150,000. Acting Operations Officer for Manchester, Inspector Valdin Amos, adds that the practice of stealing oil from the company has been ongoing for many years.
our intelligence indicates that these routes are being traversed by criminals involved in the larceny of oil from the backside companies and the theft of livestock from our farmers. These targeted operations are therefore designed to disrupt these movements, deter further criminal activities, and protect our national assets and the livelihood of our farming communities.
Whether you agree with me or not, this Jamaican government is a jellyback government. This Jamaican government no have no backbone. This Jamaican government is a puppet, is a pushover. No, the Cuban government has been providing doctors and teachers to Jamaica for over 50 years. 50 years, long before me born, long before many of you know watch this born. The Cuban doctors have been providing stellar healthcare services to our Jamaican people. And since of late, because of the whole argument with the United States, Jamaica bowed, the Prime Minister, the government, the JLP government bowed to the United States and end the agreement between Jamaica and the Cuban government. And when they asked the Jamaican government if it was as a result of the pressure of the United States, they said no. But the Cuban government, in a statement today, released that the Jamaican government bowed to the pressure of the United States and end the 50-year-long agreement. Now, Jamaicans, what does that mean for the Jamaicans who depend on the knowledge of our Cuban doctors? Me grew up here say Cuban doctors are one of the best doctors in the country. So I want to ask the government, what is the replacement? Is it that you're going to get doctors from the United States to come to Jamaica? What is the agreement? How are you going to fill that gap between doctors who come to the country to perform critical procedure for our people? Now, Jamaicans, I want you to understand that Michael Manley, when Michael Manley was Prime Minister, Michael Manley said, we will not walk in this country on our knees. We will walk on our 2 feet. But it looked like Jamaica is walking on our knees under the Jamaica Labour Party government. Is this the type of government that we vote for? No, this is, listen man, listen, we need some backbone. Where is Jamaica international policy? Where do we stand? Are we going to leave Cuba stranded, our brother and sister stranded, just because of pressure, just because you're trying to secure, I don't know, I don't even know what you're trying to secure. Couldn't it have been dealt with better? Come on, man. Listen, man. Jellyback.
Jamaican people want better. Economy coming like stormy weather. Ancestors are turning on them grave. They can tell me how we can do it together. When we look at the future of precipice, we see Jamaica needs the vision of the PNP. People said the bag of promises them can't carry go shop. And the crime rate getting high. I wonder when it all goes to comrades. Jamaican people want better. Economy coming like stormy weather. Ancestors are turning on them grave.
The proceeding was brought to you by the People's National Party.
You elect a prime minister, and is a prime minister around the country. It is time we learn to hold our leaders accountable for their actions and stop making excuses for them. Stop making excuses. Otherwise, go elect the people who really run in the country. And I don't want the right start that stupid argument. Hold the people you elect accountable and stop making excuses for them.